Yeah, I think the intention was that, I'm a child of the 60s, and, the prevailing myth at that time was that the Vietnam War was all about protecting American business interests in Southeast Asia. And, of course, we wanted to have the evil corporation here. I think the idea is that the corporation has the contract to establish colonies much in the sense that the Dutch East India Company might have controlled that whole area of the world, and that colonial Marines don't work directly for them, but are called in as a security force whenever the interests of the parent country of wherever Weyland-Yutani is, although it's probably a multinational, given the name. I never really got into that relationship, although I think your model for that is, colonial America or the Caribbean back then, where, military detachments were sent as security for the major corporations who were bringing back the resources and wealth to the parent European countries. So it's probably some kind of very entangled relationship. I don't think the Marines report directly to the company. And you can see there is a separate chain of command when they're on the mission. They don't take orders from Burke, but Burke certainly makes very strong recommendations to them. So they definitely have a lot of clout.
If you go. Come on, that's a second chance kill. And I think personally for you would be...
To be perfectly honest, at the time I made the movie, I knew diddly dick about how big corporations worked anyway, so to me they were just this big shadowy entity. I know an awful lot more about it now, and I actually nailed it, I think, pretty close. I think that if you look at places of major corporate culpability, like, say, the Bhopal disaster in India, where 3,000 people were killed because a major international corporation cut corners on safety, there's many, many instances throughout history where just by kind of negligence, corporations have been responsible for many, many deaths, but always kind of off the radar, always in distant, remote places. So if it's going to happen, it's going to happen on a colony. This is a good scene, and it speaks kind of to one of the themes of the film, which is that these technologically advanced soldiers succumb to a technologically inferior but much more determined enemy that they don't know how to fight, which is really a kind of Vietnam metaphor, where basically U.S. forces got their butts kicked by barefoot guys running through the jungle because they didn't understand how to fight that war. They didn't understand their enemy or the determination of that enemy. So Hudson's bragging scene here kind of plays into that. They're too cocky. They think they can handle anything because they've got the firepower.